If you want to make money, let's figure something else out. And yeah, I hate it.
Gervonta Davis. It's like when
Who do you got?
you guys need to fight guys your fucking same size.
When you see this fight, do you see like Tank just having his way with Jake? Like given like no?
No, I'm gonna tell you this is what I tell Tank, and Tank said it in the interview. I said, Tank, y'all going there doing y'all thing, woo woo woo. I said, he ain't giving you nothing.
Dana White spoke candidly about the ludicrous nature of Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis fight. He questioned Paul's ability to repeatedly defeat Davis in weird and uneven conditions. White complained that the rules were unfair, making the bout appear more like a spectacle than a legitimate sport.
The Jake Paul versus Tank fight is getting really weird. Gervonta looks scared for his life because the rules are out. They're crazy. Oh, so everyone thought that the fight was at 190. It was 190. He said it's at 195, and this weight difference is scaring the life out of little Tank.
Over 10 3-minute rounds.
I said it was 190.
The next dispute comes with the gloves. Little Tank is used to fighting in 8-ounce gloves. Baby glove. This fight will be in 12. Hands might be too small. Also, Tank just fought in a 12 3-minute round fight against Roach. Yes, and now he's fighting in 10 3-minute rounds, which isn't too bad. Well done, Jake. Exhibition though, can he win? Yes, he can actually win. It will be overlooked by 3 sanctioned judges. So he can actually still win and knock him out. But here's the trick. It's body punches only. And there's a reason. That's because Tank said, look, this is a bit unfair. I don't want to punch up. I want to punch at my head height. Where does it fall? At Jake Paul's belly. Oof. So apparently we've heard there's no knockdown rules, but aside from that, it's a pretty well-rounded fight. Oh yeah, and there's some drug testing involved. But Jake Paul for the win.
Here are the regulations for Jake Paul's fight with Gervonta Davis. The bout will be classified as an exhibition contest, with neither fighter's professional record changing. They'll battle 10 rounds, each lasting 3 minutes. The bout is only accessible to fighters weighing no more than 195 pounds. Each competitor will be using 12 ounces gloves, which are heavier than the standard glove size for this level. The battle will be scored by 3 officially certified judges, and if it goes the distance, a winner will be determined.
And yes, ladies and gentlemen, there will be a victor, because the fighters have agreed and the commission has approved a maximum weight of 195 pounds for this exhibition.
It was 190. It was 190.
The fight will be contested over 10 3-minute rounds.
I said it was 190.
The fight is 195 pounds, Tank, as you know. The fight will be contested over 10 3-minute rounds, and when Tank and Jake enter the squared circle to go to battle, they will be wearing 12-ounce gloves. Sitting ringside will be 3 commission-approved world-class professional judges that will score every round to ensure there's a decisive outcome for the fight if it goes the distance. And both men are enrolled in the highest level of testing with USADA. So Tank, Jake, thank you for doing this. Thank you for giving boxing another massive moment, headlined by yourselves, featuring multiple world title fights.
People who know a lot about boxing are quite concerned about Jake Paul's gloves versus Gervonta Davis. Calvin Ford, Davis' trainer, stated that the gloves were a major issue because Davis is fighting someone much heavier than him and is stepping far outside of his typical weight class. He stated that the boxers will use 12-ounce gloves, which are significantly heavier than the gloves Davis generally wears in his lightweight battles.
Actually, when I heard about the fight, they called me and said, what you thought about the fight? I said, the fight doable. You know what I'm saying? Because I watched Tanky for years, and I watched other young men and gyms, you know, deal with big guys. You know what I'm saying? Yes, he's big. To me, it's like Jake having his first open fights. If anybody know about the amateurs going open, then you go pro. So, you know, he's going to fight a guy that does have skills. You know what I'm saying? My only concern is, you know, the gloves. You understand what I'm saying? Because we don't fight in 12-ounce gloves. We don't use 12-ounce gloves. That's training gloves. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's 2 pounds away from Jake. He fights in 10s. Tank fighting 8s. So he losing 4 ounces. So my thing is, I said, they said, put Tank in 8s, put him in 10s. That makes the fight more interesting. You know what I'm saying? And we'll go from there because I understand. And I brought that question up to one of his handlers They was, no, we don't want to do no mixed match. It's supposed to be an expedition. Why, now y'all want the wins and the loss. You know what I'm saying? All these restrictions, but you want to be great. Being great is really pushing the envelope. You know what I'm saying? Tank don't really care, So when I brought this up, he said, dang, facts. You know what I'm saying? So again, he can weigh the 10s and we weigh the 8s. Then we got to fight,
The weight, how's that going to work out? Like,
Well, they got him at 190, 195. I thought it was going to be 190. So they gave him 5. So again, they keep giving, I ain't worrying about the weight. You know what I'm saying? We got to deal with it. We taking the fight. We signed the contract. We're going to make it do what it do.
how much do you think he's going to weigh like the night of the fight? Like, yeah, and both. Like, is there anything in place where like Jake can't weigh more than like?
Based on how he handled himself through camp. Camp is the most important thing because if you have a good camp, you're going to have a great fight. So my thing is just making sure the camp is good. We're doing all the necessary things, dealing with the weight, the gloves and all that stuff,
Ford proposes instead that Davis be allowed to fight in his standard 8-ounce gloves, while Paul, competing at a much higher weight, uses 10-ounce gloves. He argues that this would level the playing field more fairly.
Jake, I see y'all doing all this betting and stuff, right? And I'm looking at the fight because I'm his coach. This is a very serious fight, and I'm a very serious person. My question to you is, where did 12-ounce gloves come from? Why y'all couldn't take 10 and he had 8? Already he given up 4 ounces of the gloves. I gotta say this because y'all betting all this money. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, wait. You guys were the ones that wanted 12-ounce gloves, not me. I'll do 8. Fuck, I'll do 4. I'll do 2 ounces. I'll do bare knuckle. Like,
I wasn't aware of that. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that he can handle himself.
so what do you want? 10 ounce? 8 ounce? What do we
Well,
want?
if he the one said that, I'm gonna go with that. I wasn't aware of that.
No, the 12 ounce came from your guys' side.
No,
and
it's
I
not.
On God. Perfect. Then what do you want? 10?
No, I didn't say that.
So 10
It don't,
ounces?
it don't matter to me. It don't
Perfect.
matter.
It doesn't matter to him. So
It don't
back to
matter.
what I always wanted, which was 10 ounces. Great.
Well, you just
Thank
made
you for
something
the
It don't
clear to
matter.
me. You just
Thank
made
you.
something clear to me because I didn't know because you fight at 10s, he fighting 8s.
Yeah, your
You understand
guys'
what I'm saying?
side.
So I'm like
I
12
can
ounces. He's
show
giving
the
up
emails
4.
and the screenshots.
I
You
get
guys
it now.
asked for 12 ounces.
It's part of negotiation. I get it
No,
now.
let's do it. 10 ounces, 8. Let's do it. That's great. That's going to make it more exciting for the fans. Thank God. I wanted 10s really badly. Let's do it.
Dana White was candid while discussing Jake Paul's matchmaking strategy. He openly chastised Paul for battling people who were much bigger or better than him, instructing him to fight someone his own size. White stated that when Paul battled someone of similar size and skill level to him, he lost, which reinforced his belief that these mismatches are detrimental to the sport. White has spoken harshly about Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis' highly anticipated battle, describing it as uneven. Davis hits harder, according to White, but he can't knock Paul out because he's so much smaller. He adds that Davis may have the potential, but his chances of landing a knockout are slim because Paul is bigger and stronger, making it difficult for Davis to go inside and impose his will.
Gervonta Davis. It's like when you
Who do you got?
you guys need to fight guys your fucking same size. You know what I mean?
Straight up ignored.
When you fought Floyd, you are massive. You're a massive fucking dude. Floyd's tiny. And I'm sure when you were training, you're like, all right, I'm going to hit this guy with a couple punches and grab him, tie him up. And he did hit you with a fucking bomb of an overhand right one time. And you fucking ate it. You ate that punch.
Logan's like proud of it. He's like, yeah, I did. Hell yeah, I ate that punch from a 140-pounder. You're damn right, dude. Now, granted, it's Floyd Mayweather, but you're still 200 pounds, dog. You know what I mean? This is why, and I agree with Dana on this, this is why the Gervonta fight makes no sense to me. Because even, yes, Floyd didn't have the punching power Gervonta had, but even if Gervonta lands, I don't see him hurting Jake to the point he knocks him out. So what are we even doing? Where's the idea of this gonna, where's the idea that Gervonta's even gonna hurt him? He may hurt him to the body, you know, whatever. Jake doesn't want to throw as much, but I don't see him one punch knocking Jake out. And, you know, the same thing was kind of said with Logan. Like, okay, Floyd probably won't knock him out, but probably going to outbox him. I get where Dana's coming from. These things are not meant to be competitive fights. They're meant to make money and to, I guess, scratch that itch of the circus mystery unknown.
And Gervonta, I think, hits way harder than fucking Floyd. but he's too small. I mean, your brother's going to be able to, get inside on him, put his weight on him, tie him up. But I don't hate your brother. Your brother's out there doing his thing. But it cracks me up that they want to start suing people that are talking shit when your brother talks more shit than anybody talks.
I think the thought process behind it is, okay, so Jake and I are obviously pretty polarizing individuals. And when an echo chamber starts and a rumor mill starts of like staged fight bullshit, which like these fights aren't staged, that's just, it's at that level, it's like almost impossible. I think they think that it affects the business and it affects the brand because people discredit him as actually having legitimate bouts.
According to reports, Gervonta Davis has gained weight during training camp. He is now estimated to weigh around 160 pounds, never officially exceeding the lightweight restriction of 135 pounds. This move takes him closer to the agreed-upon catch weight for his exhibition battle with Jake Paul, which might help him close the gap and reduce one of Paul's advantages. Davis' increased girth may make him more difficult to hit and provide him with more power, making him a tougher and more unpredictable opponent. The bulk up may allow him to take heavier hits and hit back harder, altering the course of the fight. Davis' weight gain demonstrates that he is taking the challenge seriously and is willing to display a different side of himself, even if it remains below the agreed-upon catch weight limit.
Yeah. Gervonta Tank Davis, it's my prediction that Gervonta Tank Davis is going to weigh in on the night of the fight against Jake Paul, knocking on 160 pounds. Don't be surprised if he's 157 pounds, something like that. You guys see this footage? Look at Tank. Now, if you know what you're looking at, the guy must be around 150 right now, 153, something like that. And you can really tell when he's sideways. When you look at him sideways and see the depth. See, from the front view, you can't really tell. But when he turns sideways, the guy is a wrecking ball. He's literally a baby rhino out there. And I think that is the idea for him to bulk up and be a little powerhouse out there. And I'm all for it. I'm going to tell you in this video why I think that's the best thing for Tank and why I think he will be knocking on 160 pounds.
Many boxing experts believe Jake Paul will have a harsh awakening when he confronts Gervonta Davis. They claim Davis is more than just strong. He spent years honing his craft by competing against the top fighters and learning how to space time, use his feet, and think like a fighter. Paul is still working on his game, but Davis' accuracy is so deadly that one well-placed shot might determine the outcome of the fight. Paul's defense, on the other hand, remains rough. His reactions were normally predictable, and his ring knowledge had never been challenged to this level. Real pros think the difference in talent and experience here isn't just significant. It might be the determining factor.
Tank Davis look crazy, bro. Chilaquiles. Gervonta Tank Davis hitting a heavy bag in preparation for his Jake Paul fight November 14th down there in Florida. Man looks absolutely amazing. Man looks like a monster. Man looks like precision. Jake Paul cannot take those body shots. You mean to tell me somebody who done fought UFC fighters and a man with Parkinson's disease can take a body punch from Gervonta Tank Davis and y'all basing y'all logic just because Jake Paul is big? No, Tank's gonna go ahead and put this man to sleep. I'm telling y'all that right now. If Tank don't put this man to sleep, he done let the black community down, he done let boxing down, and he ain't never been that nice. You Tank fans, y'all trying to give him a pass. If y'all said Tank is as skilled as y'all say he is, if he does not put Jake Paul to sleep and stop Jake Paul, his boxing career is absolutely voided. He already don't care about legacy, and just imagine he don't knock out Jake Paul, and now y'all want to say it's not a real fight, it's an exhibition. No, we not giving no passes, bro. This Gervonta Tank Davis, he needs to put Jake Paul to sleep. I don't want to hear nothing about, Jake Paul too big. No, Jake Paul chin ain't never been tested by somebody that hit as hard as Gervonta Tank Davis. Tank should put this man to sleep with ease. I'll say that respectfully. If you don't put him to sleep,
a 2-pack of ass. That shit stinks.
That's a 2-pack of ass at the highest level. And it's a musty energy at the highest level. Get it together. Get it together. Tank looks amazing. That's the Chilaquiles. Chilaquiles. Chilaquiles.
Teddy Atlas believes that Davis represents the most comprehensive boxer currently available in the sport. He commended Tank for his powerful punches and ability to finish fights, as well as his counterpunching instincts, trap-setting abilities, distance control, and mental toughness in the ring. Atlas believes that Davis is patient when needed, cautious in his actions, and consistently thinks ahead. He never simply utilizes physical force. He believes that these characteristics make Davis the only great lightweight fighter, with all of the talents required to beat someone like Jake Paul, whose style is evolving but whose record does not yet demonstrate that he has mastered the technical parts of the sport.
With a real boxer, a real world champion boxer, that the only other time he was in, for the fans to get mad with that, was against Fury's Tommy Fury, but it wasn't that level, obviously, and all the size things you just rightfully pointed out. But he would have been in there with, I mean, it seemed crazy. You're going to go in there with a guy who was a two-time heavyweight champ and a gold medalist? Wow. Even though the guy's, at a twilight part of his career, still.
And you've given a lot of credit and props to Jake Paul on this show of helping get more eyeballs to the sport, but the way he takes it serious and goes about his approach and his work to this craft, that he does take it seriously. With that being said, when he announces Tank Davis, I'm getting tired of these gimmick fights and him loading the deck up. Whether it was Chavez Jr. or an old Mike Tyson, or we could go on and on with some of the UFC guys and the great Anderson Silva at 46 years of age. Tank Davis, great fighter, current fighter, world champion. We know how good he is. Been a top 10 pound-for-pound guy for you for the last few years now. But he's 5'5" and 135 pounds. This sounds like it would be a 195-pound fight, an exhibition. Wouldn't count on their records. Not a whole lot of other details other than it will be in November, and it sounds like in Atlanta. But I've said enough. I just want to hear your take. What do you make of this news of Jake Paul and Tank Davis?
But, and I'm smiling a little bit. But back in the day, I love the 1800s, 1700s, my friend out there, 1700s, whatever. But I love the old-time fighters. They were catchweights. And there was guys like Sam Langford. I know Sam Langford shouldn't even be comparing him with this because he's so special. But, I mean, where Sam Langford beat heavyweights. He fought from lightweight to heavyweight and beat heavyweights. I mean, back in the day when you had a lot of great fighters fighting each other in catchweights, you did have some smaller guys fight bigger guys, and you had them. You had success in spots. So I'm half with tongue in cheek, but I'm half serious because I've been in the boxing business 50 years.
Luke Thomas has also shared his thoughts on the upcoming bout. Thomas stated that Davis possessed explosive power and excellent finishing reflexes, but he also observed that the winner did not appear to be enthused during news conferences and promotional activities. Davis did not appear to be really involved in the battle. His body language made him appear remote, as if he considered it a business transaction rather than a legitimate physical endeavor. Thomas cautioned against underestimating Paul's devotion and training. He believes that even if Davis is a stronger boxer on paper, Paul's seeming lack of interest may provide him an unforeseen advantage.
Pereira in MMA. Do you feel the same? Yeah, I mean, you could make the argument that Tyson Fury also didn't stick to the order of what was in front of him as a pure boxer due to taking I can't even remember if one on his record at this point or not, but whatever, the Francis Ngannou boxing match, and he won it by the skin of his teeth and moved on. But there was a delay as a consequence to make that. Now that ended up being a little bit intriguing because of how well Francis did, but this is not the first time major boxing has been interrupted in that way. However, at least both of them are heavyweights. Like this is gerrymandered weight classes or whatever the fuck they're doing to get around it. And it's an exhibition, they're using big ass gloves. Like it's a whole thing. So in that sense, it's a little bit different. It's not this. It's not different in the sense of a boxer in his prime or relative prime.
Carl Froch agreed with this. He asserts that Davis faces significant peril due to Paul's superior size and strength, and Davis is unaccustomed to such attacks. Many other boxers share Froch's concerns. People don't consider the event as a real fight. Rather, it's a freak show in which the fighter's safety and the legitimacy of the battle are called into question. Froch has issued a severe warning about the potential dangers of the next Paul versus Davis demonstration. This event demonstrates a weight differential of about 65 pounds.
Just here at Los Naranjos in Viva, España, and I found out that Gervonta Davis is now fighting Jake Paul. So Jake Paul was supposed to be fighting AJ. Eddie Hearn announced 99% done, which we've just spoke about. What next for AJ? Potentially Jake Paul. But it now looks like that Jake Paul is fighting one of Anthony Joshua's legs. He's fighting Gervonta Davis, somebody who's a quarter of his size. I don't even know what's going on. Has Eddie Hearn been played? Let me know what you think. But the AJ fight with Jake Paul's finished. Gervonta Davis, fake Paul, November. I don't know what's going on in the world of boxing. This is an absolute joke. What next for AJ? We'll get into this, and there's so many questions I want to get into in the next episode. But I hope you enjoyed this one. And yeah, I just thought I'd give you a quick update because the news has just come in, and I'm just trying to relax and play a bit of golf, and I can't. I've got to get it off my chest. I'm going to add it to this video. Hope you enjoy it. Don't forget, if you haven't already, hit like, share, and subscribe to the best channel in the business, Froch on Fighting, and we'll see you very soon.
Meanwhile, comedian commentator Aries Spears offered a blunt take on the clash between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul, suggesting the whole event resembles performance art more than true sport. He labeled the matchup a circus, yet still backed Davis to dominate with precision power, predicting a knockout by round 3. What's striking is Spears' dual stance, scathing about the spectacle, but respectful of Davis's finishing ability. His commentary mirrors the prevailing mood, a bout filled with promotional excess that nonetheless presents a genuine threat when real gloves go on. Whether fans see it as absurd or fascinating, Spears captures the tension perfectly. It's entertainment draped in skill, and even the critics admit that Davis might just end it early.
The next fight that's coming up is Tank Davis versus Jake Paul.
Oh, this is such a circus.
Yeah. Look, according to BetOnline.ag, Gervonta Davis is favored -240, Jake Paul's +190. So more than twice the odds for Davis. Davis is a lot smaller, but he's a real serious fight.
I'm predicting a third round knockout.
Ooh.
Third
round knockout.
He's out of there. Listen, I don't know what's the bigger joke, that fight or Tyson versus Floyd Mayweather.
We'll talk about that in a second. We'll talk about that in a second. Yeah, this is honestly just disappointing. As a boxing fan, to just keep seeing these circuses happen over and over again.
I don't know if the rumor's true, but I heard Floyd was talking about coming out of retirement to fight Crawford. Now that's got some panache to it.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah,
but I think Floyd will end up taking a loss.
Finally.
That's the thing. He'd mess up that record.
Yeah. And I would respect him for it because we know how much he's tried to protect the record. Take the risk. This is what great fighters are supposed to do.
Yeah, but it's interesting because people were saying that Terrence Crawford should retire because he's, 43-0 at this point?
Okay.
He's like 37 years old. I personally don't
think But he's still got the goods, though.
Oh, he's got the goods.
Yeah, he's still got the goods.
Because Canelo was a monster. Crawford had been dominating for a while.
Right.
And he had only had 2 losses, one of which was Mayweather, very early in his career.
Mm-hmm.
But this whole Jake Paul, Gervonta Davis thing, it's just because Gervonta was supposed to fight Roach. It was supposed to be a rematch because it was, I believe, a draw last time.
Yeah.
So you go and fight Jake Paul instead? I'm sure it's a much bigger bag. I'm sure it's a much bigger bag.
And clearly that's what it's about. It's the bag, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, pretty soon they're going to have Denzel Washington fighting somebody. They're going to start putting old men. I mean, they're already putting old men in the ring.
As long as before the fight, Denzel looks at his watch and goes, 16 seconds. I'm with it.
Meanwhile, comedian and journalist Aries Spears stated unequivocally that the battle between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul seemed to be more like performance art than true sport. He dubbed the match a farce, but he still believes Davis would win with precision power, predicting a knockout in round 3. Spears has a bizarre double standard. She criticizes the show but admires Davis' ability to finish. His comments mirror the mood of the fight, which is full of promotional excitement yet poses a real threat once the gloves are on. Spears captures the tension perfectly, whether they think it's dumb or intriguing. It's a skillful show, and some predict Davis will complete it early. Interview 12. Do you think this is a legitimate boxing contest or just a show to entertain people? Please leave a remark below.